My name is Roger Greenberg. I am the chair of the campaign to create tomorrow.
My name is Jean Tarrant, and I am an enthusiastic supporter of the campaign to create tomorrow.
My name is Dr. Pradeep Merchant. I'm a site chief of Division of Neonatology here at the Ottawa Hospital. I joined the Ottawa Hospital in 1992, so it's more than 30 years, and I've been part of this Ottawa Hospital.
I'm proudly wearing a pin given to my mother when she graduated from the nursing program here at the Civic Hospital in 1924, almost 100 years ago.
My family has a long history with the Civic campus of the Ottawa Hospital. My parents were born here in the 1920s. My 5 siblings and I were all born here, and 2 of my 3 children were born here.
My mother and sister were nurses who trained here. My siblings and I were born in this hospital, and all of my children were born here as well. This is why my late husband Bill and I have participated in many programs here at the hospital over several decades.
The Civic campus is 100 years old. It's time for us to create a new legacy of our own, a brand new hospital that will help serve our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren for years to come.
It is important to me that other businesses and individuals in this city support the campaign, showing just how much the community supports building of a great new hospital.
My career is in a twilight here. This is almost a legacy years for me for what I'm going to leave behind after leading the team for the last 30 years. We are championing the premature baby and the premature baby care with the latest technology to help them out to survive through their critical phase of life development, and so they can be healthy, and then they go home with their family with a world-class healthcare.
I hope that my participation in this campaign will ignite a spark in others who will also want to participate.
My family is a proud supporter of this campaign. There's room in the campaign for everybody.
Please join me in creating a stronger tomorrow.
Please join us.
Please join us.
Thank you, Roger, Jean, and Dr. Merchant. What an inspiring trio. Thank you for getting us kicked off today. My name is Lucy van Oldenbarneveld, here for a conversation about creating tomorrow, a discussion that we know will motivate you to give to this historic campaign. So let's start things off. I'd like to begin by saying the Ottawa Hospital respectfully acknowledges it is located on the traditional unceded Algonquin territory. So as you know, as we all know, the Ottawa Hospital Foundation is in the midst of a $500 million campaign to create tomorrow. It's all in support of the brand new campus on Carling Avenue and leading edge research at the hospital. It is an incredible project for this city. So why don't we take a bird's eye view of that right now so you can get a look at what we're talking about here. We're just across the street right now in the Claridge Icon building. That is located at 805 Carling Avenue. And we'd like to thank Patty Brown of Chell Team Remax Hallmark Realty Group Brokerage for giving us the opportunity to come to this beautiful, spectacular penthouse right now. The reason we're here, of course, is to let you see the progress on construction. It's just incredible. It's wonderful to witness it as it is happening, as you're seeing right in front of your eyes. Let me introduce you to our guests for the panel discussion. Cameron Love is the president and CEO of the Ottawa Hospital. Dr. Virginia Roth is chief of staff. And Tim Kluke is the president and CEO of the Ottawa Hospital Foundation. Hello and welcome. Pretty sweet spot right now, overlooking construction, right? Tim, we're going to start with you. Construction, of course, is a milestone, right? Many donors, they've been waiting for this moment, and it's exciting to be able to show it to them today. Just can you give us an update on what's been happening, where we're at with this campaign to create tomorrow?
Absolutely. And just as you said, construction's happening. It's so exciting. Critical milestone. And for many donors, it was a little bit wait and see. You know, we had a conversation with them, and once you start construction, come back and speak with me. So very thrilled to be able to show the community that this project is moving forward. The shovels are in the ground. And the community has responded, as you said, $500 million campaign to help build this new campus and to fund research. We launched it in the spring of 2022. and the community's embraced it. And I'm thrilled to share today that we've raised an incredible $306 million. So it's a great number. We still have a long way to go, but we're really, really grateful for the support.
That's an really encouraging number. This community is responding to this, right?
For sure. And I would say the families that we talk to recognize that this is such a legacy project for our city, and they want to be part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Cameron, so the construction really is, as Tim said, the exciting part of this launch. It's happening right over your shoulder there. What can you tell us about the construction? Where is it at? What's happening right now? What's going to happen over the next year?
Yeah, it's so exciting. We started this in 2005-06. So after over 15 years of planning, you really only as a community get a chance to build a brand new hospital literally every 50 to 100 years. And in our case, the existing Civic is 100 years this year coming up. And so the fact that we're into construction is just so exciting. So we've got multiple phases to this, but the first phase is a parking garage, which when you look over my shoulder, that's the piece that's coming out of the ground now. We're closing RFPs for the main build phase. We probably have about a year of design development with the proponent, with the RFP closing this month coming up. After that year, we'll start construction on the main build. Timelines are still not confirmed, but it's estimated about a 4-year build. And as we build the main building, we'll also start a third phase, which is the development of the research tower. And so we're working with the research group. There's grants that are being awarded in this year coming up, and then we'll start the development of the research building. So over the course of 6 years, we'll be building the full sort of 2.4, 2.6 million square foot complex.
So much going on. That is exciting, especially the research, which we're going to ask Dr. Roth about in a second. But, healthcare organizations across the country, that we hear about challenges every single day in the news. So just explain the steps that you're taking now that will help to build for the future and the impact that this new hospital will have on all of those plans.
We've probably the biggest challenge we have in healthcare right now is just straight access and capacity. And people feel it everywhere across the globe, across Canada, definitely in Ottawa. And so part of our plan is not only building a new hospital, but it's really a catalyst to how we build the future healthcare. And so as we're building the new Civic, we're also starting to create much more infrastructure around how we provide care to patients before they get to hospital and after they leave the hospital. So that includes things like building 2 long-term care homes, building surgical centers in the community, working with community health centers, inner-city health to support the homeless population. And so part of our plan going forward as well, we're going to build spectacular infrastructure for people that unfortunately have very significant ailments or injuries. We're also trying to rebuild healthcare to build capacity, because while we're building a new hospital, we have to help build primary care, patients that need long-term care, patients that need community care. And so what we're really trying to do is recreate a new healthcare system. But the new Civic is very much a catalyst to that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's probably reassuring to a lot of people to know that big minds are thinking about these problems, right? And coming up with solutions. Dr. Roth, and on that note, patients. What will a facility like this, the plans that Cameron's talking about, mean for patients?
Well, the new hospital is about health, not about sickness. Let's start with that. So, as an infectious disease physician, what's critically important to me is that each patient has their own room and their own bathroom, so that risk of infection and being safe while you're in a hospital is, I think that we can reassure our patients of that. It's been a lot of thought has gone into the rooms, so we have mock-ups now that people are trying out to make sure that there's a comfortable place for a loved one to stay there day or night, to be right beside their loved one. Floor-to-ceiling windows to really connect to nature and to the environment, and gardens and interior spaces for the spiritual and emotional health of our patients as well. I think it will also allow patients to have a lot more agency over their own care, because it will include interactive technologies and digital screens, so patients can look at their results. They know when their tests are being booked for the day, and really can be much more active participants in their health.
Wow. So no more of those 4-bed rooms that people always squirm about. I mean, the vision is exactly what you're talking, and this holistic approach.
It is. It's a safety issue, but it also speaks to much more than physical illness.
Yeah. Cameron, a thing that comes up for a lot of people, cancer rates are rising. You know, as we discuss reshaping healthcare here, what does it all mean for cancer care in this community?
That's a really important question, because while we're building the new Civic, it is a piece of a much larger plan that we have. So we have 3 principal sites, the Civic General Riverside. We have 21 sites across the region now. And so as we start building regional programs and trying to create integrated models of care, the programs that are being built to Civic are one component, but the general campus is the cancer hub for the region. And so part of building the new Civic is, after we've got that done, we have plans to expand the general, which includes a greater expansion to cancer, plus a regional plan of how we evolve the development of cancer. So for many that are in this community, we built the satellite site at Queensway Carleton a number of years ago. We will definitely be building further infrastructure and satellite sites, because the region we serve is from Barry's Bay to Hawkesbury to Cornwall. It's not just the Ottawa crew.
Right.
And so when we talk about cancer, it is very much a regional program. And so we're expanding programs now at the General and at Queensway in terms of hours of operations to create capacity. But as we look out 10, 15 years, we have to start to get ahead of the curve. So this whole plan is built on the Civic being the linchpin to it. But as the Civic gets built, we expand the General. We take the existing Civic and build rehab and long-term care. And so it's very much a large plan to build infrastructure for the next 50 years.
Tim, you have your hand up. I know you want to jump in.
I just want to jump in and yes, we're talking about the new campus, and key component of our foundation is supporting the specialty services offered by the Ottawa Hospital, and cancer is such a significant one. And when I look at our donors in the community, I take the Taggart Parks family, for example, who have been significant donors to cancer research. And many families, we've all been touched by cancer, and many of our donors want to make meaningful contributions to cancer and other specialty programs, whether it's Parkinson's or neuroscience, you name it. But as a foundation, we really facilitate that support to the hospital, no matter what the donor interests are.
Yeah. Okay. Dr. Roth, I want to bring you in again to talk about research, which is so important. It's going to be a major component of the campaign to create tomorrow. I know you're a big advocate for it. It also draws a chance to draw big talent to Ottawa in research. What can you tell us about the impact of research at the hospital?
Well, it's our research that allows us to deliver world-class care, make sure patients have access to the most recent treatments and ways of giving care, but also help to develop. Our patients are very active participants and partners in our research and help to drive our priorities. So Cameron already mentioned the research tower, which will create much needed space we have Canada's top neuroscience research program. There's a plan partnering with people across the region, companies across the region, to build an innovation hub as part of that. And, one of our best kept secrets is that Ottawa, we really are one of the top 3, among the top 3 research centers in the country. So this really will enable the teams to keep that excellence going and bring it to the next level.
Wow, we need to blow the horns about that. That is really something, right? Cameron, I want to give you a chance to show off a little bit about this design. It was recently showcased in London, England. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so there's a large sort of European design conference that occurs every year, and they spotlight organizations that are really leading and cutting edge in terms of design of organizations or of hospitals. Not many from North America ever get showcased there. And so we had the great fortune of being showcased there. And I think what it really speaks to is healthcare evolves at an incredibly rapid rate. So you look 25 years ago, the design of hospitals versus today, totally different, and for good reason. But I think part of what we've been doing over the course of the last 5 years is it's not just about looking at what we design for Canadian hospitals. It's US, it's Australia, it's European countries, it's UK, it's Asia. Everybody has really been looking at how you advance the design of organizations. What you do to ORs, private rooms are a standard, but how do you design a private room to meet both clinical requirements and patient experience requirements? We're a 4-season country. That's different than designing countries that only have either 2 or 3 seasons. They don't have winter. And I think the final thing that has really been top of mind for everyone, not that we ever want to see another pandemic, but we learned a lot about how to design a hospital through the pandemic. And so the last year in particular has been really focused around how do you make changes to your building? Should you have another pandemic, that we can manage in a far more effective way the next time around. And so all of that has been built in, and it was recognized at that European Congress. So when we talk about having a world-class center that's recognized globally, it's a real showpiece.
Isn't that incredible that we could take that unfortunate knowledge that can influence where we're going from here? Yeah. So Tim, speaking of hospitals of the past, the Civic turns 100 next year. At the time, it was state of the art, right? The design's going to be a bit different now. It also was opened with a lot of community support. That was vital in it opening. How does that compare? Like, what are you seeing?
If you think about 100 years ago, we were just ending a significant pandemic. Well, here we are. You know, we're on the heels of our own pandemic. And at the time, Mayor Harold Fisher, who was the mayor of the city of Ottawa at the time, had this vision. We need a big city hospital, pick this location kind of out in the middle of a farmer's field. And the community rallied. They garnered $3.5 million to build the original Civic building. And it was opened with great fanfare, real sense of pride for the community. And they paid it forward for all of us, for generations. And so here we are, right, as a community, the opportunity to rally, to build such a significant legacy for this city. And I dare say, in all of our lifetime, this is the most important healthcare infrastructure investment of our lifetime. And so that's the opportunity. It's just an incredible opportunity to create a healthcare legacy and also change our city's landscape in the process.
Yeah, landscape, put Ottawa on the map for all of these wonderful things we're talking about. Did that hospital really cost $3 million? Is that what you said?
The original, if you come up to that original building, $3.5 million. And if you look at the old Ottawa Journal article and the fanfare, this was a big deal. They had 1,000 people come out when it opened. So it was significant. They're very proud of it.
Yeah, and excited that an institution like that was coming to near them, just like this one. Dr. Roth, as you recruit and train the next generation of healthcare providers, how is the Ottawa Hospital making that a priority?
So it's always a priority.
Yes.
So education is our future, really. Our future depends on it. And we really have a rich learning environment. We already have the largest hospitals in the country. We've got well-known educators and our education researchers, and really strong partnerships with the University of Ottawa and our schools in the communities. So we want that to continue. Ottawa is already very highly sought after, and I think this will just create that environment where it will truly become the top choice for many learners, many of whom will stay and make Ottawa their home and continue to give back.
That's what we want, right? We want them to stay right here. Excellent. Tim, we just have time for maybe one more question to you. What is the single most important message to those who are listening in on our conversation today? What would you say? I
would say if you're considering your family's philanthropy, join us. There is this vision to transform healthcare and to create a legacy for the future. And I would say there's a place for every member of this community in the campaign. There's no gift that's too small, and we really invite individuals and families, corporations, foundations to join us. Take part in this legacy building project for our city and join us in making this vision a reality.
Wow. And it is really heartening that the community has responded to date and needs to and hopefully will continue to respond to the call.
Absolutely. And reach out to us. We have a great army of volunteers, our campaign executive and cabinet, and Roger Greenberg is our chair. But reach out to us. We'd love to have a conversation about how you can make a difference.
Awesome. Awesome message. Great conversation. Thank you, the three of you. We've been speaking today to Tim Kluke, Dr. Virginia Roth, and Cameron Love. And it's just exciting what's happening in our city. So I'd also like to thank today Patty Brown of Chell Team Remax Hallmark Realty Group, brokerage, the owners of this beautiful condo that we've been talking about, overlooking right there the new development of the Ottawa Hospital. We want to thank them for giving us the opportunity to be here. It really is exciting. After 100 years after the Civic was built for $3 million, that it opened, and now here we are moving forward with a brand new state-of-the-art campus. It really is an important time for healthcare in this city. It's ambitious. We're going to take research to the top tier in the world. It's a once-in-a-generation opportunity for you to be a part of, and we invite you to become a part of it. To learn more about the campaign, to learn more of it, there's a fantastic website, creatingtomorrow.ca. It will show you everything you want to know about reshaping healthcare in our city. I encourage you to visit. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day.